If you want to pump your body and expand your mind, there's only one place to go. Mind Pump. Mind Pump with your hosts, Sal DiStefano, Adam Schaefer, and Justin Andrews.
Hey, in this episode of Mind Pump,
this one.
For the first 43 minutes, we do our non-fitness introductory conversation. This is the fun part for us. We talked about the show Blue Planet on Netflix.
Yeah, Adam finally got in on the party.
Yeah, we talked about my favorite animals, the very cool dolphins.
Matches his low back tattoo.
That's why I got it, in fact. And we talked about psychedelics and how they gave dolphins LSD.
Yeah.
Damn scientists doing crazy shit like that.
They love experimenting.
Then we talked about Greenspan's dire economic warning. He just said to batten down the hatches because there may be some crazy stuff happening in the economic future of this country.
Buy gold.
And as part of that, we talked about essential financial planning. One of those things is life insurance. You probably should get life insurance, both to pay for and help the people that are left behind if something were to happen to you, and because funerals are really expensive. And if you're fit and healthy, the place to get your life insurance, because you'll get the best prices, is Health IQ. If you go to healthiq.com/mindpump, you can get a free quote specifically for fit and healthy people. Then we talked about the Home Alone remake, the Google ad. Adam brought that up. Good news. New York now allows nunchucks. They're no longer banned. Yeah. So all the ninjas listening right now, you're cool.
I know. You can come out of the
You're
hiding.
safe.
Yeah.
You can walk around with your
out
nunchucks.
of the shadows.
Then we talked about cassava flour snacks. One of my favorites is from Siete. They make these nacho cheese chips and ranch chips that are amazing, and they're grain-free. They also make tortillas. I don't know if you guys knew this.
That's 7 in Spanish.
Yeah, is it? Thank you. Yeah. They also make tortillas that you can make your tacos out of that are also grain-free. So for all of those...
Why are you looking at me? I feel like that's racist, dude.
Hey, Adam.
Yes, I know. I know how to make a taco.
Yeah. Are you having tamales on Christmas?
Yeah.
Anyway, you can find those products and more at Thrive Market. They are the biggest online marketer or seller, I should say, of non-GMO and organic products
in the universe.
We are sponsored by Thrive Market. We got something for you, by the way. If you go to thrivemarket.com/mindpump, you'll get a month free membership and $25 off your first order. Then Justin brings a scientific article. Apparently, cussing makes you stronger.
Yes.
Fuck yes.
When Justin brings the science.
That's right. And then Christina says
and
a very
fucking awesome,
very bad word.
Yeah. Yes, she did.
So you might want to fast forward that
potty
part
mouth,
if you have kids.
Yeah.
Then we talked about punishing kids with soap. No, you are not putting soap in socks and hitting them. You're just making them eat the soap. When they say bad words.
Find out what happened to Justin.
My childhood.
His mom,
I'll tell you what, traumatic.
Took it to the next level. Yeah. Then we talked about the app that the kids are using, TikTok. Kind of cool conversation there. Then we get into the fitness part of this episode. This is where we answer fitness questions, and we had guest fitness question asker
extraordinaire,
Christina Rice, on the show. Say hi, Christina.
Hey.
She did a great job asking these questions. So the first question was, CrossFit and Spartan both claim to have the fittest people on earth. Who is right? We determine the winner in that part.
Very scientific. Right?
Neither. Yeah.
The next question was, what are some really good snowboard prep exercises? Of course, I give my 2 cents because I think I know everything, even though I've never snowboarded. But Adam, avid snowboarder, Justin does snowboarding.
Yeah.
So their advice you should definitely
valuable
listen to. And then, of course, Adam says that sometimes he listens to Brain FM's focus music while he's snowboarding to get into the zone. We are sponsored by Brain FM. If you go to brain.fm/mindpump, you get $20% off these beats that will improve your performance. The next question was, hypothetically speaking, if we were stuck in a gas station for a week, what would we eat to stay healthy? Find out who wants to eat the orange cupcakes that cause cancer.
Yeah. Those in red robes.
The same guy that will drink the nacho cheese.
And the last question, what's a part of the business that we have to do every day that we don't like doing? Find out what we hate doing that we have to do in order to make this company run. Also, you only have 3 days left. 3, 1, 2, 3. After that, this promotion is over. Get 20,
I'm glad you counted that out for everybody.
You got to let people know.
Yeah.
Get $20 off the launch of our new MAPS program, MAPS Starter. Now, this program was designed for beginners, for people who are deconditioned. It's done with dumbbells and physio balls at home. It is extremely appropriate for people who want to get started on a resistance training program and reap all the benefits of lifting weights.
Very simplistic, but very effective, Sal.
That's right. It's good for building muscle, burning body fat, and getting your body ready for the heavier, harder resistance training programs that we also offer, which you can find at mapsfitnessproducts.com. But if you want to check out the new product, the MAPS Starter Program, go to MAPS Starter. There's 2 S's in the middle, MAPSSTARTER.com, and use the code STARTER20. That's starter and the number 20, no space, for $20 off. Also, if you do this in the next 3 days, you get that discount, plus you get a free t-shirt and 1 year of forum access for free. Go check it out. The new Blue Planet blew my mind. Did you watch the one where the sperm whales just
a lot of blues,
where they're just like this? Look, they're just hanging. They look like they're plants.
Yeah.
But they're just floating in the ocean.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. No, that one had
those cuttlefish with the changing pigment.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was a trip.
How about the fish that's smart enough to go get like the clams on the edge?
Clownfish.
Oh yeah,
That's live with Finding Nemo.
Slam it
and then slam it against the rock and open it.
Yeah.
Fishers, I thought they were dumb, but they were smarter than we think.
Oh, and they talk to each other.
Like we talked about the Nintendo thing.
Yeah.
Like who passes that down in the fish world? Like you're just born and you know to go get these clams and slam them against a rock. It's a little weird, don't you think?
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
I bet you there's an under the sea internet.
How's the song go?
Under the sea, internet ways.
I'm convinced.
Things will get better.
It could have been the weed though that had me thinking.
So I have to.
I think that was it.
Were you? I know what you were doing, Adam. You were sitting there blazed, and you were thinking, "What if I lived under the ocean?"
So my favorite thing to do.
Mermen exist?
I haven't watched it. You guys have talked about it now twice on the show, and I've been itching to watch it, and I haven't had a night where I've got home before Katrina and I've had the house to myself. So last night I got home and she had to go do some work of it. I can't remember what she was doing. And so she wasn't going to be home for a couple hours. And I was like, what am I going to do? I'm like, I know what I'm going to do.
Pornhub.
I'm going to.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, that's
a different a different night.
That's Thursday nights. No, so I was like, I'm going to watch Blue Planet. So I got my little ashtray all ready, and I got the surround sound. I got my DevTech surround sound all set up now.
Oh, shit.
If you have like the perfect TV and everything, like that is such the perfect show.
Was it just like, were you, it's euphoric.
It's very, very euphoric. Yeah. It's amazing.
Did you cry a little bit?
I don't cry, but it sucks me in.
It does to me sometimes.
She'll come in.
You cry at that?
Huh? If I see something that is enthralling, it has to do with nature. I want to cry. I don't cry, but I want to.
Oh, you want to?
Yeah. I can't make myself, though. I'm too strong, but I try.
You push it back in.
Yeah, it just goes right back inside. But that show is, and I have to admit something that's a little bit, I don't know why it's embarrassing to admit this. It shouldn't be embarrassing. Because you know why it's embarrassing? Because girls claimed this a long time ago, and I'm going to take it back.
Ooh.
Dolphins are the baddest animals on the planet.
Oh,
that's
God.
it. I said it.
Baddest?
No, they're not.
Dolphins are
They're
awesome.
Intelligent.
Extremely.
But baddest?
Bro, they're fast.
Come on, dude. Orcas.
Yeah.
They'll eat them for breakfast.
But they're like dolphins. They're all the same kind of family.
Yeah, I mean, they're majestic.
But they're so smart, and then
I don't know. I'm thinking of different adjectives here.
And they do shit for fun. It's a fish that does stuff purely for fun.
A lot of them do.
No, they don't.
Did you see the stingrays?
What do they do for fun?
When they get over to the, I forget what part of the ocean they get to, but they all migrate to an area.
When they jump out.
Yeah, then they jump out and they belly flop.
Yeah.
And they're all doing belly flops.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
like, why are they
that's
doing
all right.
that? That's just
they're cool.
That's like you in summer camp. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but dolphins
belly
are
flopping.
cooler.
Dolphins spin things.
Dolphins are just super rad, and then they have lots of sex. Don't they have lots of sex, Justin?
I think
you were
they
telling
do.
me something about that.
Absolutely. I've watched it.
They're super into cool stuff.
Yeah.
And you know that
With everybody.
Did you know that dolphins have been known to save human lives? Did you know this?
No.
Yes.
Explain yourself.
I've heard about that.
True stories where people were in the ocean and were surrounded by sharks or something, or like a shark, something dangerous, and dolphins will come over and they'll hit the shark with their nose and get the shark away and surround the human to protect them from the dangerous shark.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Name one other animal in the ocean that protects
they got
humans
our
that
back.
way. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So dolphins are awesome. I don't care. I'm not embarrassed to say it.
I mean, it explains.
I mean, that's the tattoo.
I might
as you
get
say,
it
explains the low back tattoo now.
Yeah.
It does explain
Perfect.
that.
It's
I don't know why it's leaping over a rainbow.
quote unquote
though.
badass,
Yeah,
right?
it's jumping over stars
Yes.
in the moon.
Yeah.
It's just
I just like their language. You know?
yeah, they do. What
my
did you just say?
I mean, I'll leave that to interpretation.
Yeah. You know what's cool about so did you guys know that a long time ago? I might be making this up. You ever make something up once and say it enough times and you don't know if it's true or not?
I think
Maybe
you do it
Doug-
all the time.
Doug, try to confirm this.
And I believe you, like every time.
So far, it hasn't happened, but maybe I'm wrong on this. But I think
All right.
that at one point there was researchers that gave dolphins LSD
Yeah.
to see if they could communicate with them or expand their mind or whatever. Did you guys know this?
No.
Yeah.
Look up.
LSD.
There it
dolphin.
is. There it is.
Yeah.
What we've learned from giving dolphins LSD. Look at his smile on his face.
He's like, yeah.
That's crazy.
He's like, oh, the colors are so much cooler.
So it worked. It says communication between humans and animals may be possible after all.
Well, they do communicate with each other. And what I find that's so fascinating is here we are, apparently the smartest animals on Earth, apex predators. We invent all kinds of cool stuff. We think so abstractly, but we cannot figure out dolphin language.
yeah.
We cannot figure out how they communicate with each other. And it must have to do with something other than just the sounds. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It must have to do with the tempo, or it's something so complex,
Clicking and the,
or something outside of our scope, so outside of our scope that we just can't. Because imagine if we could figure it out, and while they're talking to each other, subtitles
well,
pop up.
underwater, I mean, you have to make sounds that carry really far.
Yeah.
So I just don't think that we perceive that type. It's almost like a dog whistle or something like that. It's like you just don't hear it the same way.
Wow. What does that say right there, Doug, about what happened when they were on acid? It says that
They're
they
like,
were.
we spoke to the dolphins.
Let's see.
I
They
remember.
were far more vocal than usual. So I guess they spoke a lot more when they were on acid. They're probably like, "Help me!"
Yeah. What's happening
out.
to my brain?
Or what if they just all of a sudden were like, "Whoa, I'm a dolphin."
Well, I think it wasn't Blue Planet, but it was another one of those shows that talked about how a lot of these animals, or most animals, do seek like euphoria through other ways. Like there's birds.
I think dolphins won't they do something with pufferfish? Mm-hmm. And it's like they're getting high off of
it's
the
like
pufferfish.
almost every species gets high.
A lot of them do.
Some animals will make themselves dizzy. They'll spin.
Same difference, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
and
getting
they'll-
high.
And then there's other, I forgot what animal it
If they
was.
could twist a joint up, they would.
I know birds eat a certain kind of berry or something like that.
No, birds do the ants, the fire ants.
Oh yeah.
So there's birds that will get like the fire ants and they'll put them under their wings. And because the fire ants have like a little bit of, it's like their bite's a little poisonous, just enough to like get them high. And so they rub the fire ants on their stomach and their wings.
That's crazy.
Isn't that weird?
There's also animals that will eat certain types of fermented berries because it's like it's got alcohol.
Yeah.
So they sit there and get drunk off of the fermented berries.
I feel like it's crows.
Is it crows that do that?
They're really smart. They
Yeah.
do all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah, there's a theory that humans developed the concept of afterlife and religion and all that stuff because of psychedelic natural compounds, like hunter-gatherers, right? And so, the gatherers. So probably the first high people were probably women because they were the gatherers. So there they are gathering food.
Makes a lot of sense.
And they're gathering, different edible things, and they find mushrooms, and they're probably like, okay, well, we don't have much food today. Let's test this out and see what happens. Eat the mushrooms. You know what I mean?
Yeah, wasn't there some kind of stoned ape theory? It was Terrence McKenna or the McKennas. They were talking about that, and as far as the brain development, like we had this like rapid development after we found psychedelics.
Well, this is all stuff that
it's all speculative.
This is all stuff that we know, right? For in terms of like what we can find, because there's stuff that's so old that we don't have record. But for what we have, it's like humans were the same, and then all of a sudden, I don't remember what it was, around 10 or 20,000 years, something like that, or no further. All of a sudden, humans displayed belief in like afterlife, and they started coming up with what looks like rituals that are religious based or whatever. But before that, there wasn't anything or any type of evidence, and so they think what happened was these people discovered natural psychedelic compounds, and it just because think about it this way, like if think about how abstract some of the things that we take for granted are, and how a leap of mind power it took to come up with some of these concepts, like the afterlife. Like that's a very abstract thought that we don't even consider anymore. We think it's like not a big deal, but to humans, we're animals, so we're alive when we're dead. We're in the moment. Somebody came up with this concept of no, your existence happens. It continues past the time that you actually die. That's a very abstract, crazy thought.
Very abstract.
Yeah.
Maybe we figured out that gave us purpose and we started to live longer and live better.
There's a they call it the God gene. There's an evolutionary purpose for us believing in that kind of stuff. Right. And a lot of scientists think that's what it is.
Right. It makes sense.
Yeah. Like, why would you do anything for the next 5 generations when you're not going to benefit from it?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? When they're like, hey, you should go over that mountain over there. And, and we know that there's saber-toothed lions and shit, but, for us to continue to survive, and, you'd probably be like, nah, I'm cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all right.
Go.
Yeah, fuck you guys.
You go.
Yeah, exactly.
Get after it.
So anyways, did you guys see what Greenspan said? You guys know what Greenspan is, right?
Of course. If he says it, it's what's going down.
Well,
okay, is it doom and gloom?
When it comes to the market, man.
He's the former...
He was the first one to come out with before the big housing crisis. And he called that shit way early.
So he was a Federal Reserve chairman, and he warned us 2 decades ago that irrational exuberance in the stock market, would see equity prices kind of do some crazy shit. Anyway, he's saying right now that the markets could still go up further, but he warned investors that the correction is going to be very painful. He says at the end of that run for cover. And he basically said, the title of this article was Investors Should Prepare for the Worst.
Batten down the hatches, huh?
Yeah, so, and this reminds me of a few staple things that I think people should all consider when it comes to like protecting your money and investing, like things that we don't even consider, especially when we're young. Like having liquid cash, I think, is real important. We tend to put ourselves in debt and we buy things, we have payments on stuff, but having liquid money in the bank,
like physical assets.
Yeah, physical assets can protect you, but if those value of those assets decline, like the housing market,
right?
Like if you buy a house for $600,000 and you get a loan for $600,000 and shit goes south, and now your loan is for $600,000, but your house is worth $200,000.
Right.
Like that's what happened with the housing market, right? A lot of people had to walk away. Life insurance is another very important staple thing that a lot of people don't.
I was just looking at that with Doug. Doug had
What were you guys looking at?
Well, he had me up on the health IQ thing, and Rachel and him were trying to convince me to do that. I'm like,
to get life insurance?
Yeah, but I'm like, I don't want to fucking leave my money to anybody. There's nobody I want to leave money to. And then
God, you're stingy. You're dead.
I know. Rachel spoke up.
I feel like you should leave it to us.
Well, what about Katrina? Is what she said to me.
Oh yeah, we'll take care of it.
And I said, okay, well that's a good point. But I said at the same time too, I don't want to leave her so much money that she's motivated for me to die. So we figured out that I'm going to do a $1 million policy. So $1 million policy, which I feel good about that. I'm like, that would handle any sort of major bills or anything that she might have, and I'll feel good about that. But it's not quite enough money where she's like, this guy is not going to make very much money.
Yeah, because right now you're worth more than $1 million. She's
right.
Like, well, $1 million, but
that's
then he's probably going to make more than that.
Yeah, exactly. She's like, keep him around every year. I'm going to make that kind of money.
There's more potential I can squeeze.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't want to like a $10 million or $100 million type of policy.
Because then she's like, I don't know if he's going to make that much.
Yeah, he's better off dead, right?
Yeah.
So I don't want it to be motivated.
She starts rolling tobacco in your joints.
Yeah. It was actually only
it's the long play.
A little over $500 for a 20-year policy.
$500 what, a year?
Yeah. So it's
not bad.
Less than 50
Dude,
bucks.
if you're fit and healthy, Health IQ is, they're freaking amazing in this.
Yeah, they're on top of it.
They're amazing in this because if you're a fit, healthy person and you go get a regular policy, they don't really consider, they consider good health, but it's not, they're working with a pool of average people. Health IQ is working with just fit and healthy people, so you're going to get the best prices.
Well, and that's what I was saying, okay, because
I've been per month?
It's less than $50. It was like $520
for $1 million policy,
right? Yeah. And that's enough to where I feel like, okay, if I were to go, that she wouldn't be fucked. She wouldn't be fucked with bills. She could take care.
Well,
of
all joking aside, and I know we're making joke in light of this, but do you know how much a funeral costs?
Right.
Oh, it's dude. Yeah, that is. That's the most unfortunate side that people don't want to recognize.
Light me on fire.
Oh man,
That's expensive, too.
I have been
No.
through. Some,
I mean, literally, throw some gasoline.
yeah,
on me,
no,
light me on
I'm with
illegal.
you. I'm with you. Like,
Yeah.
just
break the
burn
law for
up.
me.
Right.
I've bent the rules.
That'll
enough
cost
times.
more.
You know what I'm saying?
Scatter me on the universe. I don't care.
No, they're tens of thousands of dollars
That's
for a funeral. So it's like it's
I don't care how filthy rich I am when I die. Like, I want my family to just not spend any money on that.
really.
shit. Yeah.
Can I put you in like
You could
protein powder?
whatever, cheaper,
Protein powder.
'cause
cheaper the better.
ingest your essence?
Wow.
Yeah, pocket the money. I'm saying if I leave you with $1 million or 10
I'm
million,
gonna plant
like
an
that,
Adam tree.
you
That's
go
what
as
I'm gonna
cheap
do.
as you can. Make me the smallest put a little plaque where you guys can all show up once a year and be like, "We miss you, bro." I'm saying that's it. I
An
don't
Adam tree.
Yeah,
The top of it's gonna be like not that many leaves.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's not funny. That's not funny at all.
At least
It's not funny at all.
I'm sorry. Ooh,
just a little brown at the top. You know, it's just a little bit of
That is
Why is
not
this
funny.
semblance
Not
of it.
funny at all.
why is the plant? Why is the tree growing
used to
like
be so
that?
full and lush.
It's so weird. Every time.
No, I was gonna donate like a big library, for
Oh, God.
downtown.
Adam's library.
Yeah, and then everybody can
All the
go
books
check
you should
out
read.
digital
No,
books.
Do you have a life insurance already,
Yeah,
Justin?
I do. I have kids. I mean, see, this is the thing. It's like
Yeah.
you think more about these things then, but
Yeah.
I think like in an Adam's case, if he got on this now, he'd get even a better rate. I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Doug was showing me. I mean, the younger you are, the cheaper it is. I mean, if you were 10 years younger than I was, it would be not,
I wish I would have got mine earlier. Is what
I'm
saying.
telling you, it's a dumb thing to not invest in. It's not expensive if you're fit and healthy and relatively young. It's just not. How many things do you spend more than $500 a year on?
That was my point to Doug. I was like, okay, I literally have like 5 gym memberships that I'm paying like $49, $39 a month. It's like I cancel one of those gym memberships and now I have life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
So and I'm covered for 20 years at $1 million. It's kind of a no-brainer to at least have that at the bare minimum. So
I did mine a while ago. This is before Health IQ, and I'm going to do another policy because you can have more than one policy, right, Doug? I can have a bunch. Yeah, because I did one with Doug years ago when he was my client, and I think I want to definitely get another one, and I might get one that's like you said, $1 million or $2 million.
yeah.
Just to
Yeah, we don't want to motivate our better halves to get rid of us,
Yeah,
right?
no.
I mean, it's like, you don't want to leave too much money.
Can you
I
leave
feel
it,
like I'll get it without her knowing.
Doug? Can you leave it just to your kids?
You can make anybody the beneficiary.
Even underage, you can do that, and then they'll get it when they turn 18.
Unfortunately, I have no microphone.
He has no microphone, but
Okay, let me get it.
I'll yeah. Here you go. Use Justin's.
You can leave it to anyone. However, kids are under 18, so they need some type of guardian. So it's ideal if you have a living trust, which will dictate how the money is distributed, who's going to be the guardian of the children, et cetera, et cetera. So that's important to do that. But yes, you do want to have your kids as your beneficiaries, ideally your significant other as your primary.
Justin, did
Doug,
you?
you smell a little bit like Douglas fir. Is that purposeful?
Yeah, he's got the.
Yes, we do have a guest here today. Christina Rice is sitting right over there.
Hi,
And she has my microphone,
Yeah.
but she gave me some essence of Douglas fir.
Yeah,
Douglas
it's
fir.
exuding off of you.
Is
So,
that go ahead.
Justin, you did. So you have life insurance. Then you
did.
dictate that or what? Like this, what Doug was just saying.
Yeah,
not know?
my wife was responsible for that, so I'd have to check that out with her. So
she took care of the whole thing.
I didn't do any of that. So
She's fine. She'll be just fine.
exactly. I might have to actually revisit it and look and see if I can cut myself. In
Keeps
there
finding
somehow.
glass
Right,
in his
yeah.
pasta. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Why is there a piece of glass in this pasta? What's going on here?
Yeah, weird.
Anyway.
Hey, did you guys see the advertisement that Google did with the Home Alone remake?
Oh
No.
Jackie just sent. I didn't
it's
see that.
it's so good. It's Macaulay Culkin, but he's an adult, and they did a whole remake of like the Home Alone scene of him.
classic.
Yeah, no, it's a great little ad. It's hilarious.
Was it really good?
Yeah, you guys gotta watch it.
Now, is it just for online? Or are they posting it on TV?
Oh, I don't know. I might hit TV. I'm not sure.
Okay.
It's online right now. She sent it over in an ad, and I watched the ad. It's pretty hilarious.
Oh, Justin, I got some good news for you.
You do?
I got really good news for you.
Sweet.
New York. Okay, so now when you go to New York, you can now carry nunchucks. So they're no.
Finally, that wasn't allowed.
Yeah, it was actually banned in New York State in 1974. They actually banned nunchucks. You ready for this?
What?
They banned it in 1970. This is a great example of how silly government can be because they'll just overreact. I have nothing to do, right? Oh, we got to make more laws. It was banned because they had some fears that youth inspired by martial arts movies would create widespread mayhem with this is when the kung fu movies were getting all popular.
Every kid on the street.
Not to make here's the deal. Nunchucks are only really dangerous if you really know how to use them.
Yeah, they're more dangerous to yourself.
Yeah. Also,
hit yourself in the head.
Also, it's hilarious. Yeah. Can you imagine? Oh, we should have banned nunchucks. That's otherwise that that whole thing would have never happened.
How great would you see someone try to hold up a bank or something like that with
just swinging? I don't know about you guys, but
just hit a button.
Somebody pulls nunchucks on me and asks me for my wallet. I'm gonna give it to him just because it's cool. Be like, show me some shit.
I'm gonna sit there and watch for a minute and then let him hit me.
You deserve my wallet for that, sir. Anyway, some guy had him and got busted, and some cops took him in, used that law to.
Is there a lift on Ninja Stars too? I mean, did it? What are we looking at?
Yeah, Ninja Stars were banned, I think, too, in a lot of states.
Damn.
Which I find hilarious too.
Yeah, I told you about growing up. My friend Karate Chris, right?
He actually was named
Karate Chris. We called him Karate Chris. I mean, he was that kid that would always go up to Chinatown. He'd get every illegal weapon you could possibly get and bring it back, and we all, in his backyard, played with him.
Really?
Yeah.
And just throw them against the fence?
Oh, yeah. Ninja Stars, nunchuck. I mean, we had smoke bombs, you name it.
What's a Ninja Star?
What's a Ninja Star?
You need to leave right now.
You new here?
Yeah, I am.
A Ninja Star is it's a metal, it's a sharp metal.
Wait a second, you didn't watch Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
No.
What? I wish I had one right now.
They scared me. They're all slimy.
Oh my God.
Ninja Turtles weren't slimy.
Yeah, they were.
What the hell kind of Ninja Turtles are you watching?
The old one with the really, they were right? The original ones.
No.
Not they were people.
You're too young for the original ones.
What was the original one?
The original ones were way old, so that goes all the way back to when I was a kid.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Vanilla Ice was in it. Did you see Vanilla?
No.
Yeah,
see that right there?
Go Ninja, go Ninja, go.
Oh, that's called a Ninja Star.
Yeah, and then you can throw it, and because it has multiple points, it'll stick into your adversaries.
Hopefully the jugular.
Into your Oh, you know what happened to me when I was a kid? My dad found a Ninja Star at the dump, which, by the way, side note, we'll just go to the left here for a second. You can find all kinds of crazy shit at the dump.
Yeah.
Do you know how many things my dad brought home from the dump?
I don't,
cool.
but I'm really curious, though.
A lot of cool things. Trust me.
Yeah.
So
pretty much my bedroom set.
That's how that's my sweater. That's how I got
a great rug that really ties the room
That's
together.
how I got a mini bike.
That's where your style came
Someone
from?
actually dumped a mini bike at the freaking dump, and my dad got it, brought it home, and fixed
that's
it.
awesome.
Yeah. So he brought home a Ninja Star once, and I thought it was the coolest thing ever because I'm 12.
Yeah.
And I was throwing it at the fence, making it get stuck in the fence, and I threw it, and it went over the fence.
And killed a dog.
No, it almost hit some kids.
Killed the dog.
I threw it over the fence, and I'm like, and it ran out there, and these kids were looking at me, and I could tell that I had kind of went between them. You imagine hitting someone with a Ninja Star in real life?
Yeah, that would hurt. In your defense with a dump, though,
screwed.
I tell you a good strategy. If you live in a near or in a rich neighborhood, once a year, these neighborhoods will have
dive in their trash.
No, they have this where you can put any size stuff that you want to put out on the front of your house, and they'll pick it up. I forget what the name of the day is, but we have. This. Yeah. All the nice.
They did the big dumpster. Excuse me.
No. This is you put it out on your front. You could put let's say you have an old barbecue, you've got an old washer machine, something
couch.
Huge, a big piece of furniture or appliance that you want to get rid of. That would be a hassle to take to the dump, and one time a year they allow you to put that out in front of your house. And when you cruise the rich neighborhoods, a lot of people just get rid of their old stuff that they didn't want. And so I had a girlfriend, and her dad was like Mr. Handy guy that always made me fix shit at my house, which drove me crazy. But I remember telling him that I was like, "Oh, I gotta get a new barbecue." New? Why would you buy a new barbecue? People will get rid of those things all the time. And he one day waited till and sure shit somebody pushed a barbecue out, and it was broken. It didn't work, but there was just a couple things that needed to be fixed on it. And then I had this, $300 barbecue that he picked up off of someone's house and fixed a $20 part on it.
That's funny. Yeah, I actually there was a day like that when I was in Chicago, and I was living off campus, and I was at this college, and that was the thing, was this rich neighborhood. They would put out all of their old furniture or whatever, and old is in quotes because it was basically a year old, there's and they got brand new stuff. And so we would just drive around with trucks,
Right.
and just like fuck by. We were dirt poor,
Yeah.
we were college students, and it like seriously outfitted our entire place. So,
Great strategy.
yeah.
That's so awesome. Yeah, when I was a kid, the reason why you would pay attention to what things threw away was because that was the only place you would ever find pornography.
Oh,
Yeah, that was only
that's
that
like
was
a gold mine.
yeah, and sometimes people would throw away a dirty magazine, and you were like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question for you guys. Do you guys know what cassava is?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I know you know what it is.
No.
I'm asking these guys.
I don't.
Oh,
So-
that wasn't like a group anybody.
I know it like probably about as much as she knows Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. So cassava.
Sounds like an alcoholic drink.
No, break down cassava, Christina, because there's a lot of. Well, I'll tell you why in a
What-
second.
What do you want to break down about it? It's a root.
It's
They
a-
make cassava flour.
Yes.
It's a good paleo starch.
It's a starch that you can. So if you're sensitive to certain types of starches, if you want gluten free or whatever, there's this company, and I hope I'm pronouncing it right. Thrive. I got these chips from Thrive Market that are still amazing. The company Siete.
Siete, yeah.
Siete. They have these nacho cheese chips made with cassava flour, and they're fucking amazing.
Oh, that sounds
They're-
interesting.
Sounds amazing.
They are. Doug's gonna pull it up right now. Look up SIETE chips, and so these guys can see what it looks like.
Huh.
And they're
Siete has really good tortillas and chips.
you
and their
can
new nacho cheese.
Who does Santa?
no
Siete.
right there.
Oh,
Look at that.
No, not Santa.
So it's not corn.
Oh, I've seen these.
Yeah,
they're
they're really
so
good.
Oh, yeah, I've
good.
had those.
This company is based out of Texas.
Yeah, they're in Austin.
Yes. When we were out there, I saw
Grain free.
all the On It people were repping this brand. They're that bomb, huh?
They're super good because
Don't they come in like this cool box that you can order them into? I thought I saw somebody showing
Yeah.
them on their Instagram.
Their ranch are like ranch Doritos.
yes,
Really?
Yeah.
I'm not. She's
Whoa.
not exaggerating.
So tell me what's so much better about it than like
They're
ranch
healthy
Doritos?
chips.
yeah, why, okay.
They're healthy.
So why are they
Look at the
healthier?
ingredients.
Yeah.
Pull up the ingredients so you can see.
Now, why would this be better than having the grain ones?
Because grains contain lectins. They'll fuck up your gut.
There you go. So you know why? Because, okay, so look at the ingredients. First ingredient, cassava flour. Look at the oil they use. Avocado oil. It's not safflower oil or sunflower oil or some other inflammatory
Coconut
oil.
flour, ground chia seed. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Tomato powder, nutritional yeast. Now this one is that one ranch, Doug?
Yes.
Okay, no
And
dairy.
look at how little those ingredients. Like, look how small that list is.
yeah, there's no dairy in them either.
Doug, can we used to, for Thrive Market, for the commercials, we used to do a box opening. Can we, having some good chips around the place?
Those will last 2 seconds.
He wants the chips.
I
Leah,
do.
right now. I want them too.
Well,
It
this is
sounds
not
delicious.
the first time I've seen these. I've actually seen these pop up with with our friends over in Austin. I've seen them repping the shit out of this brand. I didn't know that
Yeah.
Thrive Market sells. Thrive Market sells everything.
Bro, these bags will literally last 2 seconds in here with Justin. I promise you. Yeah, you don't want to. You don't want to. Might need to hide
Especially if
them.
there's nacho cheese.
I want to get my
around.
own little locker here.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah, I want to get my own little locker where I can put the
We're
stuff.
gonna end up getting mice again. Yeah, like
You had
with all the
mice?
food. Yeah,
We did have mice.
We did.
Yeah.
One of them crawled up my leg when I was in the bathroom.
That's
that
a
was fun.
true story.
Yes.
That's horrible.
It was
literally happened.
It was the best thing that's ever happened here.
Little Jerry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Too bad we killed him.
he's a friend.
So,
Dude, did you guys know that? Okay, so swearing actually makes you stronger. There's
Stronger?
a study. Yeah.
get the fuck out of
It
here.
makes you stronger.
We already found out that you're smarter if you swear.
Right. Because we obviously were onto something, we didn't even realize it. So yeah, there was this study, it's out of the Journal of Psychology of Sports and Exercise, and basically what it said that there was like a 4.6% increase in power during a stationary bicycle test that they were applying with people allowed to swear their way through it, basically.
Well, you know why I think that would work? You know what's funny? It's,
Fuck! And they were producing more power.
we got to remember it's not the word that has the
Science.
power. It's the feeling behind it. And cuss words are still taboo enough to they're so taboo still. They're not as taboo as they used to be. They're still taboo enough though that when you say them, there's an emotion or feeling behind it.
Well, that's what they relate, that it's a different part. It's not the linguistic part. It's more tied to the emotional side of your brain. And so you're accessing that. And so therefore that helps to contribute to, more output apparently.
Yep, and I think the more you cuss or the more a society cusses, probably the less power it has. Like, for example, if you go to Australia, pretty sure that the cussing doesn't give them that much power because they cuss like crazy.
So I'm curious when we're going to come out. They're going to come out with a study with what's the right dosage?
Of cussing?
Yes.
I think it's got to be more than you're used to.
No.
You know what I'm saying?
No.
Look, let me put it this way. I use Australia as an example because they love to cuss. One of the reasons why I love the Australian people. But for example, they use the word, they say a word that is super taboo here, but they say it over there.
Cunt.
Yes, they say it there like crazy.
Yeah.
Like crazy. I bet you if you measured their brain activity when they said that word versus like a typical American here, it's totally different. Because for us, when you say that, we're like, even now you just said it, I got a little bit, ugh.
Why?
Yeah.
Because it's so...
Well,
Why do you think it's so taboo here?
Let me hear you say it, Christina.
Cunt.
Oh
my God. Hard T.
Oh my God.
That's a very hard T.
Don't let her speak anymore.
Yeah.
So way too much.
Edit that one out.
I don't like when people are afraid of words.
Yeah.
It bothers me.
Yeah, but
That's
you're
why
like,
we like you.
Yeah, that's the only... No, it's not. There's a lot
The
of...
only reason you like
we
me?
need to put soap in your mouth after that. Jesus Christ.
That never happened.
Did you guys
to
ever
me.
get soap in your mouth? I did.
Yes.
I definitely did.
You know what the worst was, though? Was the liquid soap.
Oh my God.
You guys didn't get that?
That's abuse.
Your mom's fucked up,
Bro,
bro.
I mean, I straight like flipped her off to her face. So I deserved it. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. You flipped your mom off to her
Yeah,
face?
that's when my dad had, he
I'd get my finger broken
I got
for
my
that.
ass kicked for that one. Let's put it that way.
How old were you when you did that?
I was probably like 12. You know, I was like a total like asshole.
I can't even begin to comprehend what would happen to me if I flipped my
listen,
mom off to her face.
There was a learning curve between me and my mom that had to take place, and
On whose part?
yeah, both, because there was a lot of incessant like you have to do this like on top of me constantly. And I have a breaking point, and that was one of my breaking points.
Could you?
So you leveled up with the bird, and
Yeah.
she leveled up with dish soap.
Liquid
dude.
soap.
Dish soap, liquid soap on my toothbrush. So think about that. You can't get rid of that. Like I tasted it for like months.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
Hold on a second.
You try and wash it off, and it's like you still get remnants of it.
Could you imagine if your kid flipped off your wife or you to your face?
Oh yeah, no, my dad. Trust me.
Oh, it's
I got
coming.
my ass kicked.
It's coming.
I know it
That's
is.
why I believe there's a Jesus, bro. He makes sure shit like this comes around full circle.
Testosterone is a hell of a hormone.
Oh my God.
I just got it. I was like, "Rah!"
I said to my mom, this is exactly what I said. We were fighting, arguing back and forth. First off, I couldn't raise my voice to my mom, but I would still argue. I was an argumentative
that's like me.
little shit. So I back and forth. And then all I said was, this is all I said. I said, well, that's stupid. I didn't call her stupid. I didn't say you're stupid. I just said, that's stupid. My dad was around the corner of the wall listening the entire time. And apparently he was listening and building up the anger.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know what he did? He
Slapped you in the back of the head, probably.
Oh no,
That's what I got. For
Oh, it
something
was
like
a good time. I got stuffed between the bed and the wall. That's what happened to me. It was a lot of it was a lot of fear stuff. So we didn't get a beating or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I ended up in between the bed and the wall. I remember I was like this. With my legs up, stuck in there. And I didn't say she was stupid. I just said that was, which didn't make it any better.
Right.
I can imagine flipping something.
Dish soap. Dude, the fucking liquid soap. That's epic.
I had
Yeah, it was horrible.
My mom used what was it? What soap was it? The green one, Irish Spring. There
Oh,
you
yeah,
go.
Irish Spring.
Irish Spring. Put
Hey.
that in my mouth, and then she timed me, so I had to hold it in my mouth.
Safeguard. That was the bar that I saw. How funny is that we remember the brand?
Oh my God.
How memorable is that? That's what
I had Zest.
over 30 years ago.
Fully clean.
Yeah, fucking-
You're not fully clean unless you're zest. Sorry, I always
Did you
remember
sing-
the jingles.
Would you put
that's
soap
why
in
you
your
got
kids'
dish
mouth?
soap in. That's why you got liquid soap in your mouth because you fucking probably mom probably stuffed the bar
I was
soap
all
in your
making fun of it.
Yeah.
And she's like, "No, we're
Yeah.
intensifying."
Knowing
this.
Justin, you just take the bar of soap and just eat it in front of his
That's
mom. Like,
usually what I do,
"Oh, I like it. You know,
I wouldn't doubt it.
she's
at
all
all.
using Ajax. Eat this,
Yeah.
motherfucker. Eat this, you little shit.
Oh yeah, is that the worst you got?
Damn, I can't believe you gave your mom the bird.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think like the worst thing
Wait,
that I did.
Christina,
I
you
was
just
an asshole for a period there,
You-
for
you-
sure.
you
No,
just-
yeah, I want to know. Would you guys have you ever done that? Put soap in your kids'
I've
mouth?
never done it,
No,
and you know what? I forgot that technique.
I did too.
I think I might have
I think
to.
it's a horrible. No, don't do that.
Why is it horrible?
That's a horrible technique because
Why?
it's like you're fucking with their health.
Really?
Oh, get out of here.
Soap is. Are you kidding?
Kid eats fucking dirt.
At least that's good for you. There's so much probiotics and bacteria.
Kids are out there eating dirt and shit, putting whatever in their
God.
mouth.
I'm not going to give them antibacterial triclosan soap. It's going to be
God.
organic.
Yeah, you know he's got hippie soap at his house.
It's going to be soap from Thrive Market.
Yeah, that's right. It's the good stuff.
Yeah,
When I was young, my mom left the Clorox out, and I drank it, and then it almost burned my esophagus.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
You were
And here you are.
even
Like,
worse.
that's what I'm saying. Kids put way
I'm
worse shit in their
scarred.
mouth.
I'm scarred. That was an accident.
you were eating Tide Pods before it was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Trend
Popping
setter.
them open.
Well, you're nice and
Trendsetter.
clean in there now.
Yeah.
Nice and,
I
bleached.
totally forgot that technique. Yeah, my kids have it easy. I got to reevaluate my approach here.
Now, has either one of your kids pushed any sort of crazy boundaries like that to where you guys became unglued?
Can I tell you something? Kids these days, and for better or worse, kids are just weak sauce these days.
Yeah,
and I don't mean it in a bad way.
I would totally agree with that.
Dude, my boy, now he's 13 now, so now it's different. But when he was 10 or maybe 9, so 9 years old, he came home and I'm like, how's school? And he's like, oh, someone at school today, said a really bad word. And he had this look on his face of like, I can't believe I heard this terrible word. And at the time, me and my wife were like, oh crap. Like, I'm like, can you tell me what the word was? And he's like, no, I can't say it. And I'm like, and so it took me like 10 minutes to get him to tell us that the word started with the letter S. So I'm like, they must have said shit or something like that. Yeah. Finally, I got the word out. Stupid. Someone at school said stupid. You know how weak sauce that is? When I was 9 years old, the words I was saying at that age were horrible.
Terrible.
Horrible stuff. So it's just different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it is different.
So
And
neither one of the
choose
kids
your
have like
battles.
done something that's just crossed the line where you were ready to throw them through a window.
Nah, mainly it's just the not listening aspect of it that really gets under my skin. Like in terms, especially if it's me or it's Courtney, I'm like, I have to make a point of like really pruning this right now because it's a cycle that it gets worse and worse to where they just start ignoring and then they do their own thing and like I just that drives me crazy.
My daughter is so headstrong, which I really appreciate. I really like that she's headstrong and confident. But let me tell you, the challenges with her. If I pick a battle, first off, I have to be very careful with the battles that I pick because whatever battle I pick, it's going to be a war, and she will dig her heels in, and this is going to take hours. And so I don't pick very many battles with her because I just don't have the time. I don't have the time to deal with this. But if I pick a battle, okay, we're going to be here for a couple hours, and I'm going to have to gradually ramp up.
You're like, I'm bringing my helmet.
And I have to think about the punishments because whatever I say, I'm probably going to have to follow
Like,
through.
what do you mean? What kind of battle is she bringing to you at that age? Like, what is she to where you would actually spend an hour going back and forth?
Like, let's say I told her to clean a room and she didn't, and I say clean your room and then she doesn't. I have to be careful. Like if I say, if you don't clean your room in the next 5 minutes, I'm gonna throw all your toys away. If I say that, I have to do it.
Of course.
And so I can't say that because knowing her, she'll challenge me and she'll be like, fine. And then I'll do it, and then she'll cry, and then I'll feel terrible. And then where do I go from there? There's nowhere to go from there. It's like when you train it's like when you give someone personal training.
Isn't that like one of the number one rules as parenting is like don't make threats that you can't follow through on?
100%.
Like that's like a major.
No, it's all calculated, and your response is all calculated too. Like you don't lose your shit. Like that's the first rule. Mm-hmm. Don't lose your shit. Mm-hmm. Really take yourself out and then assess it. And then get to a calm state, reapproach it, and then you have a plan. Like I can't react. Like I've taught myself to not react right away when I see something. I'm like, oh my god, like it'll be like 100 times worse if I do it that way than to pull myself out, come back.
Oh, you know what? Sorry to change subjects on you, but you just reminded me of this whole like rebellious type of talk we have right now. The app TikTok.
Yeah.
And
what'd you think of that video?
Fascinating.
So TikTok.
That's why I asked you if it was publicly traded yet.
Is this new app that I just learned about yesterday? Because I don't remember who sent it.
Yeah, how
Mike
recent
Matthews sent it to me.
Is it?
It's pretty new.
Yeah,
I asked Enzo about it, and Enzo's like, "Yeah, all the kids are using it." And it's this app that it's kind of like Vine. I asked my son. I said, "Do you know what TikTok is?" And he said, "Oh, it's like Vine." And you post 15-second videos. And the reason why it's making the news is because this Generation Z is posting stuff that is very.
It's the opposite of what the millennials are posting.
Yeah.
The millennial generation is the pushing the cry closets and the oversensitive
Super
everything.
sensitive
Yeah,
and
about
whatever.
everything. They're pushing those boundaries. Like there's videos like a black guy out there like picking cotton in the
Oh,
grass.
terrible! And he did it himself.
Yeah. No, the people are. It's self-deprecating humor. That's what it is. So
but they're doing shit that's very controversial.
Yeah, very controversial.
But they think it's funny. They're
Right.
crossing all the
the
lines.
inevitable rebellion.
No,
Yes.
that's what this video is. This video that Sal sent to us that I thought was very compelling is he's right, and kids inherently have this rebellious side to them, and no matter whether it's we have a cultural wave that's happening right now that's pro one way, the generation coming up is going to be anti that no matter what.
Yeah.
So it's natural, which is what I always say. I don't stress out. Because I really believe that this is what happens. We swing the pendulum one way.
Always has happened.
Well, what's
And
so
then we
funny and
naturally come back.
ironic about it is like this whole movement to, liberate, accept have created so many more rules for everybody to abide by.
Yeah.
And of course people are going to rebel,
Well,
you can't just like demand that from everybody to act like exactly like the same way.
Kids will rebel against whatever their parents think it's cool or tell them to do. Like
That too.
I guarantee you, marijuana use will go down in kids as
will.
it becomes legalized.
Totally will. It's
just
cool.
not cool.
It's cool right now. It's exploding. Everyone's getting on it now. After
They're going to like huff gas.
give it 5-10 years, and then it'll be
Yeah. Oh, my
demonized.
dad does that.
Oh yeah, lame.
Yeah, totally lame.
Right.
And sex is another one. It's like this whole like everybody have sex, and kids now are like, I think I'll wait.
That's already happening.
Yep.
I mean, they talk about that in the iGen book. Like the generation underneath us, like millennial generation, became so promiscuous that the generation coming up, it's so easy to find someone to fuck.
Yeah.
Plenty of fish, you know what I'm saying, tender. I mean, it really is. In our generation,
that sounds like the ads you get on the
Adam's so strong right now.
find somebody to fuck.
It was like a lot of work as a kid to find someone to hook up with. I mean, you might go to 4 bars that night and strike out completely because you don't find the right person that even likes you. Where, man, you could sit on your couch and line it up before you even go out, and then you're lined up for your night. So it's become so easy that it's not cool anymore.
Yep.
Now it's not cool to hook up because it takes more self-discipline to say no.
So when I asked Enzo
not
about this,
challenging.
Enzo said, and I said, dude, this article is saying that there's this wave of rebellious kids, and the way they're rebelling is they're going the opposite direction of millennials, and they're saying super controversial shit, whether it be sexist, racist, whatever. They're joking about it and laughing. And this is everybody that's on there. And he you know what he told me?
What?
He said that there's this wave of young conservatives that's starting to grow.
Yes.
All these kids who are like, I'm a conservative type of deal, which was never cool. You know what
I
I'm
want to
saying?
circle back to the debate you and I had almost 100-something
this is all fun to watch.
episodes ago when you told me to watch that Netflix thing where the kids are fucking everybody. And I said, and you're like, man, I'm really worried about this culture. And I'm like, dude, exactly what's going to happen. It's going to become not cool to do that. And this is exactly what we're seeing now is the opposite. It's not going to be cool to fuck everybody because it is so easy to do that. So I never worry. It's amazing how we are as humans and as a society as a whole. And now that we're even more connected, what we're seeing is the swings are faster now.
Yeah.
But in the past, it would be like, and we use cigarettes as an easy example of, how cigarettes came on the scene, how long of a swing the pendulum, and then it came back. Where now when we see crazy shit, it may be a sharp swing, and where everyone's like, freak out, I can't believe we're doing this. But then it comes right back really quick
because
how
movements
quick,
happen so fast.
Yeah, because how quick we can connect with each other.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if these swings happen. But one thing that's very predictable is kids are rebellious, and they'll rebel against. It reminds me of. I had friends. I had some people that I trained a long time ago. Became good friends with them, and they were a couple. They were super hippie, super free love, super like extreme in that direction. And their daughter became this hardcore like Christian conservative person, obviously rebelling against her parents.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just that's the predictable thing about kids.
Right.
So maybe we should change our approach at home.
Yeah,
Justin.
I know. I think about that all the time.
Start acting like an
Whatever
asshole.
they're into, I'm just going to get into it like 100%.
Yeah, if it's something that you don't want them to get into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Exactly.
Today's Quah is brought to you by Maps Anabolic. If you're looking to maximize your overall muscle and strength, Matt's Anabolic is the perfect place to start. With a full 30-day money-back guarantee, there is absolutely zero risk. So what are you waiting for? Go to mindpumpmedia.com and get started today.
It's the motherfucking Quah.
Eagle has landed.
Quah.
The first question is from Connor Desmond. Both CrossFit and Spartan claim the winner is the fittest on earth. Who is right?
I think they're both wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
You know what that reminds me of? It's like when you see a coffee shop and the sign says "best coffee in the world."
Yeah, it's the same thing. Yeah, 100%.
How the hell did you get that? The best coffee in the world.
Yeah, we just gave it to ourselves.
Yeah. I think they say this because they incorporate a lot of different attributes of fitness. So like CrossFit, you get stamina, you get endurance, you get strength, you get mobility if you compete and you're good at it. Spartan, same thing, strength, stability, stamina, all that stuff.
Yeah, endurance.
Now, and I think like Adam's right. I don't think anybody. I mean, the fittest has to be context. Like fittest for what?
Yeah, right.
You know what I'm saying? Like the fittest Spartan racer is the fittest Spartan racer for Spartan type races.
There's clear lines between the two. Like if you were to ask me who would be better at a marathon run, those two, well, the Spartan racer would be. Who would be better at deadlifting? Well, the CrossFitter would be. It'd be whatever adaptations those guys are chasing when they're prepping for either one of these sports. And
okay, I'll set up some context. Okay, it's the apocalypse and
okay,
all right,
zombie apocalypse. You need to survive.
Yeah.
Who is more likely?
Spartan all day.
So same.
All day.
Yeah, that's what I would say. Because a Spartan racer can climb shit. They can do burpees.
Get away.
Well, here's where I'll challenge that. The CrossFitter's got a bunch more muscle mass on them, so they have plenty more stored energy.
Whoa. A bunch more muscle mass? Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
CrossFitters have a lot more muscle mass than a fucking Tough Mudder.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's because they use more steroids.
Spartan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, right. I'm sure it's creeping into there too. Spartan racers and Tough Mudders.
Well, I'll take that back because of the
look at Ben Greenfield.
The lifts that they
I
do.
Love Ben.
Yeah.
Ben's a good friend of
ours. They're lifting,
but the wind
weight.
blows and it knocks him over.
No.
Yeah.
He's like a $105.
Just doing it really fast.
Listen. Let me explain.
Listen, Linda. Listen, Linda.
Having a lot of muscle is not beneficial in a survival situation. Have maybe a lot of fat, having a metabolism that's more efficient, and a Spartan racer who trains with that type of endurance and stamina has a more efficient metabolism. CrossFit
it depends on the zombie too.
That's a good
be
point.
honest.
That's a good point. I'll take that.
Because if it's like, what is it, 36 days later, or whatever, those crazy ass zombies that are sprinting at you, you want to get the hell out of there quick.
Yeah, I mean, if we're in one of those movies, right, and I had to pick who I want by my side, a CrossFitter or a Tough Mudder guy, I don't know. I kind of want the CrossFitter guy.
Now, which one? How about this?
Have you ever seen them throw a softball?
Who?
Yeah, might need him throw some dynamite or something crazy. Just saying, like,
just randomly,
or a grenade.
Who would you? Okay, how about this? I already know who.
Yeah, but the throwing spears. I challenge that.
Yeah,
okay. That's more.
You do throw a spear in that.
Okay, which set of skills has more utility? Spartan for sure. Like you're gonna.
That's not true.
Way more utility.
You climb rope. Okay, CrossFit climbs ropes. They throw softballs. They walk on their hands. You never know when you might have to do that.
Right. You're right. That could come in handy.
Right. You do
something.
Okay, if a boulder falls on you, you want the CrossFitter with you.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd rather have a power lifter.
Boulder?
If a boulder fell on me.
Right. But I mean,
but between that and the Spartan racer.
CrossFitter.
Yeah.
I'd rather look like a champion CrossFitter too, because they're on roids, I don't know, but they look more bodybuilder-ish. So that's more of a look that I would want than the Spartan type of look.
I mean, here's the thing: they're really both good at doing hard shit.
They are. What if there was a war? How about this? A war of an army of CrossFitters
versus
an army of Spartan.
CrossFitters are whooping their ass.
No way.
No.
They're big targets.
Correct.
Yeah, dude. They're
big,
stronger.
Bro, look at the top.
Imagine them both charging at each other.
Yes.
If they were like stabbing each other with like little knives
What
or
Christina
something.
said, imagine 100 CrossFitters running at 100 Spartan racers. What happens when they collide in the middle?
War is a game of attrition.
So
Spartan,
they're
they
gonna
got
run
like
away
archers and
until
they
they
shoot
starve
them
to death?
from the from distance.
Listen,
Listen, Linda.
Look at the top warriors in our military.
It's getting crazy now.
It is.
Yeah.
Look at the top warriors in our military. Have you ever met Navy SEAls and Rangers?
They look like CrossFitters.
No, they don't. They look more like Spartan racers.
No, they don't.
Bro, the average Navy SEAL's like 5'9", 5'10", lean. They're not massive.
They're 165 though. They're not fucking 125.
A Spartan racer's not 125.
A 5'6" Spartan racer is fucking 125.
5'9", 5'10". Maybe Doug can look up the average. Look up champion Spartan racer and then look up champion CrossFitters. And let's look at them next to each other.
There you go.
Well, what do you define as fitness though? Because asking who's the fittest. So then, what does that mean?
Oh, well, that's context matters.
Yeah. We have a different, I think, definition than what they would think.
For me, fitness personally means being healthy, having longevity, and being able to be strong enough and fit enough to do the things I want to do. If I could pick between having CrossFit fitness and Spartan
look at
fitness,
that kid.
I'd want to be
The
CrossFit.
king of Spartan. Look at him. Put that kid next to the king of CrossFit.
Yeah.
And that kid, look at that guy.
All right.
He doesn't eat 2 meals. He's fucked. 2 meals, bro. He's fucked.
He looks like a Navy SEAL.
Yeah.
Where?
Those guys, all those Spartan racers. do.
One guy. He's not. Those aren't even the best. Go to the top where you were, Doug. Said the king of Spartan.
Yeah.
All the way to the top.
Yeah, I don't
Right
know.
there, top right. The king of Spartan. Put the king of Spartan next to the king of CrossFit.
Yeah, and then look
Search
up
king of CrossFit.
and then look up Navy SEAL.
No, look at king of CrossFit.
Yeah, and see what they look like more. Look at they can swim. Don't they have to swim in Spartan?
Champion CrossFit champion.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. They look like fucking bodybuilders.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. I'd rather look like that, to be quite honest.
No,
with
the
you.
dude right there, that looks like a Navy SEAL, bro. Rich Froning looks like a Navy SEAL.
No, he's way too big.
Well, a Navy SEAL on steroids. That's what he looks like.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Do you think that steroid use is more prevalent in CrossFit?
I do now.
Yeah.
I do, after talking to Romano.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I speculated on that, but hearing him talk about it and the conversations we had off air, I'm like, oh Jesus, it's way more than I thought.
Yeah.
There's more of an endurance component for sure. Look at those SEALs.
Just to recover, it makes sense for me.
They look like CrossFitters. They do not look like Spartan racers.
They don't look jacked, bro. They don't look jacked at all. They look lean and functional.
No.
Because you
Please,
got to be able to last.
Justin, we need you for
They're
the
killing
the
machines.
dividing the
Well, I'm a skill guy, so I'm trying to decipher which one provides like the more unique skill set, that I'm looking for. Because CrossFit for me is just this like muddied hot mess of attempts at different skills, but just like speed their way through it all and find a cheat code there.
Yeah.
Listen, if I'm drafting one of them to be a SEAL buddy of mine,
But
and I got to pick one.
physicality, I think you're right. They have that advantage. Whereas in terms of like, if I'm gonna go for somebody that I want to survive and like make a camp and go the long haul with, I'm going with the Spartan racer.
That's right. And so, that's war is war is attrition, bro.
I'm kind of conflicted, I'll be honest.
Yeah, it's hard. He's in a conundrum because usually he always agrees with you, but he also
What are you
hates
talking
CrossFit.
about, dude? I take your side quite a bit, man. And then he gives me shit.
That's really the
and
truth.
then I get in your line, and then
like,
you give me shit.
Fuck, Adam, I really want to get on board with you here, but you're fucking backing CrossFit right now.
Exactly. That's my real conundrum. I can't really give them any light
God.
that's shiny.
Yeah, it reminds me of like how funny was it when we're traveling. And we'll get in line to get, or have to put your shoes on the thing and go through the metal detector. And there's Adam will pick one line, and I'll purposely pick the other line. And then Justin's always like,
I'm in this awkward shuffle. Yeah.
If we were to actually say the fittest on Earth, and if fittest encompasses health, then I could argue that the two of them, neither one of them fall in that.
too extreme.
Yeah, because if you're a champion CrossFitter or a champion Spartan racer, the level of extreme training that you're going through in order to be a champion in that sport is got to be unhealthy.
Yeah.
For anybody.
Yep.
Just the wear and tear on the joints, the constant repetition, the pounding of the body, the stress that you're putting on yourself.
Extreme performance does not equal extreme longevity and health.
Fitness. If we're using
they're
fitness
both
and we're
sports.
trying to say that like as in fitness and health, then I would argue that neither one of them are.
No, the healthiest person is going to be someone that does a little of everything. They know when to press and stress their body, and they also know when to pull back and relax their body. And it's not the extreme athlete. Extreme athletes they're healthier than the average, fat, unhealthy American, but they're not healthier than somebody who takes a health approach with fitness.
Yeah, they should have called it like the most resilient to like gauntlets. or something. You know, like something stupid.
The
like
one that can take the most punishment.
Yeah, the most punishment taker.
Or what we think is going to be around longer.
Isn't there like a standard fitness test like they used to do like in PE or something?
Yeah, the presidential fitness. We used to get presidential fitness awards. Did you guys get those, by the way?
Yeah, totally.
I got it. So what you used to do is you used to have to do pull-ups.
I got the pull-up one.
Yeah.
I did really well as a kid.
You didn't get the general one?
Was dips part of it? I know there was like the mile run, which I did well in that, but I'm trying to remember if there's dips or if that was just with the school specifically, because I broke a record at the school for dips.
No, I don't think that was in the national one.
Well,
yeah,
it should have been.
It should have been.
I would have killed it.
You didn't get the national?
No, so the way they broke it up at my school, so this was when I was in 7th grade, you had all the things you had to do, the sit and reach, the pull-ups, I think push-ups, the run the mile, I don't remember all of them. But I remember I did really good. I did better than anybody in my class for the pull-ups. But that was it. I didn't beat everybody else on everything else, so I didn't get like some big
But there were
award.
standards you had to meet to get presidential. Do you remember which ones you missed?
I don't think I missed anything. I think I passed all the standards.
I made the
then you got the presidential.
But I'm saying I got we didn't get. I don't remember getting like an award. Maybe a certificate.
It was only like 10 pull-ups.
Maybe I got a certificate. Yeah, no, I did like 15.
Yeah, I did like 10.
Yeah. Crushed everybody.
You did. I did 16.
Wow. You're awesome.
That's funny. Don't I remember? They
it's
recounted
weird. Actually, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. I had one more than that.
All right, next question,
All
please.
right. Next question is from Mallory Galazewski. What are some killer snowboard prep exercises?
Great question.
I put this up here because Taylor actually has been hounding me for this because he's going to ride on New Year's.
Does this mean he's going to listen to the show now and listen to the answer?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm going to tell. I'm going to make him
not.
though. I'm going to be like, I told your answer on the podcast. You have to find it. So there's a lot of different things you do. There's two things that I always do, and this has just been kind of staple. I've been snowboarding for.
I've been prime those hips, right?
I've been snowboarding for as long as I have been lifting weights. So when I was lifting weights, I remember the first couple seasons I never did anything to try and prep myself, and then later down the road as I became more educated in the field, I learned okay, there's some things I should do. The hips, what you pointed out, Justin, wasn't something that I addressed until I got older. Mm-hmm. The two exercises that I love to do are tempo squats with an elevated heel. Mm. So I'll get like the half foam roll, and I'll elevate my heels really high on the half foam roll, and then I will do really slow, light. I don't need heavy weight. In fact, tempo and slowing it down is more important than pressing a bunch of weight because I'm trying to mirror the similar type of intensity that I would going down the mountain. When you're snowboarding down the mountain, you're on the balls of your feet a lot. You're on the balls of your feet as you're carving back and forth, and your quads just are on fire, and that's where your people are typically sore. So I love ice skaters for this. So talk about a move that I normally don't program into somebody's program. Where I do see some validity to it. This is an area where I would do ice skaters, and then 90-90, like doing the hip mobility work, like you were saying, Justin. Those are kind of my three go-to exercises or movements to include if I know I'm getting ready to go on the mountain. And I just rode for the first time in over 2 years because I didn't ride last year because of the Achilles. And had a great ride. And I was teasing my nephew, who's only 22 years old. And he was like, "Oh, I'm so sore. You're gonna be so sore, old man." And I was like, "I was fine, bro. I was totally fine. I primed. I did all those. I did those movements leading up to the week before I went and rode and didn't get sore at all."
You know, the when you look at skiing versus snowboarding, it's instinctual to think that the things you should prepare for are the same, but they're actually quite different. Skiing is a little bit different because your foot is locked with this long ski, which now lengthens the lever that your foot would be. Now, why is that important? It creates a lot of potential torque and twisting torque on your legs, and if your hips have poor internal or external mobility and strength, then you get a lot of knee injuries, and you see that in skiing. Snowboarding is a little different because both feet are attached to the board.
You're locked in.
So they kind of protect each other a little bit, right? So you don't get the knee injuries as much. Believe it or not, you know what the most common injury in snowboarding is? The wrist.
Yeah.
So it's important for injury prevention to
tailbone too. I mean, it's one or the other. Typically, especially if you're first starting out with snowboarding, where you're gonna get a really sore butt because you're constantly falling back. And then it's either your wrist is going to help kind of absorb a lot of the impact, or it's going to be your butt. And it's like one of the two. Otherwise it's, worse, which is like your head or something like that, which is going to be a nightmare. But that's definitely something to account for, is that you're in a fixed position.
That's a really good point. Because a
lot of people are like, oh, I got to strengthen, make sure I prevent knee injuries, because they're thinking skiing. It's different with snowboarding, right? Because you're locked in, both legs are on the board.
Well, what you bring up a really good point. And the way my mind is working right now is I'm a snowboarder who's been riding for a long time. I don't fall down, and so I'm not even taking into consideration how I would prep a brand new snowboarder versus someone. Me, I'm thinking I'm going to be riding down the hill nonstop.
Performance.
Performance. My quads are going to be on fire. I want to make sure that I'm mobile. I want to make sure that I'm strong.
Now, when you're cutting back and forth on a snowboard, and by the way, I'm speaking from a completely inexperienced position. I'm not a snowboarder. I've just seen it, so I'm breaking it down from what I see. When you're cutting back and forth, are you moving from toes to heels to move back and forth to cut?
Yeah.
So that's a lot of ankle strength, I would assume. And
which is why I also like the elevated heels when you're doing that, or tippy toe squats.
Now, what about the tibialis? I would imagine that because most of us never train our tibialis muscle. And I would imagine that would get fatigued
by combat stretch and
trying to cut back, right?
That would be a good one.
Does that happen often?
Yeah, you're a little more heel side than you would be toe side. It's more common to dig heels in than you were to dig your toes in.
Yeah,
although
so when you're
do
pulling up like this, you're going to be using the tibialis quite a bit.
Yeah. It's less of pulling up as much as it is as leaning back. So you're leaning more back on it. But ankle mobility, absolutely. When I primed before, I did all my basic priming that I would do just to do my exercises. That's the irony in it, right? It's not that different. Like combat stretch is what I did. 90-90 work is what I primed before I left. And then the training that I was talking about, that's the only real difference that I changed up. And for me, I was thinking more performance. I wasn't thinking of what things I would do to combat the beginner snowboarder who's probably going to fall on their tailbone, and you're right, wrists are really common. People don't have the wrist mobility.
And the only thing I would add in terms of something for anti-rotation would some kind of like a lateral pull where I'm not allowing my hips to basically move and rotate at all. So that way I'm getting more of that control over these rotational forces, because like a lot of times where people get into trouble is when things get away from them, and certain movements cause your upper body to turn one way, your lower body to turn the other. So just to be able to stabilize quickly and really have control over that would be huge.
And there's a lot of lateral stability, I would imagine, that you need, right? Because you're going down a hill.
That's why I like
sideways.
The ice skaters are like a go-to for me. I mean, that's the only time I really use them. There's no other application for me really.
You have to be real comfortable with that.
Yeah, ice skaters in my normal routine, it's kind of like whatever. It's not something that I think it's a staple move. But if I know I'm going to be snowboarding, absolutely training up into that, just me perfecting that move leading up into snowboarding makes a world of a difference.
So I would imagine then, especially for a beginner, you probably want to do stabilization lateral exercises like a side plank to create strength and stability in the lateral plane. And also, you said ice skaters. What about a Cossack squat?
Cossack squat.
A Cossack squat. Wouldn't that be also good for something like that?
Absolutely.
And then lots of core, of course, core strength. I hate saying that because it's such a.
I know.
Yeah. You need a lot of core strength to do this. Everybody says that about every activity.
Yeah, I forget what it's almost like a tube walking, but basically you have a band instead and you're holding it out in front.
No, we did a great.
We did a YouTube on that a long time ago.
Yeah, we did a good search Mind Pump anti-rotational. So we did an anti-rotational series that all those movements would be great. And it's what Justin you're alluding to right now is your arms are extended, you're holding onto a band, so you have a band distraction while you're doing like a lunge, which would be great. I mean, would be a great. There's a lot of creative things you do that. I mean, for me, keeping it very simple by keeping the joints mobile and priming them correctly, and then just to be able to increase the stamina that I'm going to be on the balls of my feet by doing these really slow tempo squats with my heels elevated.
How long do you prime before you go snowboarding?
Right before I get on the mountain?
Yeah.
Well, the 90-90 I had to do before I left the house, right? So I'm not going to get down on snow and the concrete and get all wet and stuff like that to do the 90-90. But I did my combats in the parking lot. So I did like a combat stretch in the parking lot like when I was there.
Now, did you feel like you were, because I know when I prime versus when I don't prime and I work out, I'm in the zone right away when I prime. When I don't, it's like I got to do 3 or 4 warm-up sets. Did you feel like that with the priming? Were you able to get into it?
That's a really good question. Like I don't know if I felt that from that. That's hard. It's hard to tease that out and say
there's
that.
so much skill.
Yeah, well, yeah, and not to mention, for me, I've been riding for so long. It's like riding a bike. Like, dude, does somebody prime their body, then get on a bicycle, and then go like, wow, this bike ride is fucking way easier. It's like snowboarding is way easy for me. It's not. I've been doing it for so many years that I'm as comfortable locked into this board as I am walking down the street or
teaching
riding
your body
a bike.
that neural pathway. Like that's what the priming process is. You've already done that for many years.
Right.
So it's not like, that's going to aid in, like, sometimes when you're at that level where it's just comes automatically, I would assume that.
You know what I noticed, and I pieced this together, I don't know how long after high school that I was riding when I started riding with headphones in. Man, when I listen to music, and this is why I like to ride by myself. The last time I rode, I went up there all by myself. I'll put my music in and I get into flow state, and that's where I really notice my movement gets better from the mental focus and the flow state than the priming and everything else that I do.
Well, the priming gets the muscles ready, but there's so much skill involved with that activity. You have to be in that headspace. Didn't you say you use Brain FM?
Yeah, I used to use Brain FM. When we first started to do stuff with Brain FM, one of the first things that I applied it to was snowboarding, and I was like, "Fuck, this is crazy." I mean, I know it's a big difference.
Oh, that's rad.
Yeah, it was cool. You can get it though from music too. So like similar to the effects, not as. I mean, Brain FM is like scientifically produced for that, so obviously it enhanced it that much more. But music gives me a similar feeling. If I get into like I have like a snowboard list that's different than my workout list and things, and it's much more calming type of music than it is intense. Like I'm not listening to, fucking
like Mortal Kombat or something.
Metallica on the way down. On the deal. Yeah, it's much more Incubus.
That was a reference for you there.
Yeah. Lost her completely.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Christina, Mortal Kombat.
Bring it, girl.
Yeah.
All right, next question is from the Lab Strength. Hypothetically, if you were stuck in a gas station for a week and there was nothing else around, what would you do or eat to stay healthy?
Twinkies.
Yeah.
All the way.
Next question.
Yep.
I would fast for most of that. That's
Beef
for
jerky.
Sure. Yeah.
Gas stations aren't that bad nowadays.
Well, you know what?
Depending where you are.
Do not eat sushi.
Oh.
No, I say that somebody.
Have you done that?
No, my wife's one of her friends that works with her came into work and was just looked pale and green and just awful, right? And she
Sushi at a gas station.
She's done it a few times and like told everybody like, I just had this sushi. I mean, it's weird. Like I don't know what's wrong. She had like the worst food poisoning ever. Like it knocked her out for like a week after that. And I'm like, hello, sushi at a gas station? Like, you don't see any red flags there?
You deserve to get sick.
Yeah, I was like,
So
come
gross.
on.
That's so gross.
Yeah.
What are your guys' go-to foods at the gas station?
Beef jerky.
You always get jerky.
I do. Jerky.
I do too.
Beef
Or
jerky is
nuts.
like a go-to because every gas
peanuts.
station has beef jerky. You can
Yeah.
count on beef jerky and cigarettes there for sure. Those are the
jerky and cigarettes.
two things that every gas station 100% has.
That'll keep you alive.
Right.
Yeah, I like. I'm a cashews. I'll always because when we do our road trips, you guys know that I always go in there and end up buying cashews. And if I'm gonna get anything else, it might be jerky. Depends on the kind of jerky. Not all beef jerky's. It's not all created equal. Some of the jerky in there's like Slim Jim. That's not really the same thing. That's just
Yeah.
processed meat.
It's just like condensed in a tube.
Yeah. I and then they have bars now, but bars again aren't usually great. I'm surprised that the last couple gas stations I went into had kombucha.
Oh, yeah.
In the gas station, which I think is insane.
That is
I thought
interesting.
that was pretty hilarious. But what else is good in a gas station? There's not much.
Yeah. I mean,
Jerky,
cheese.
nuts.
There's gotta be some
Sometimes they
cheese.
have canned fish. Fruit. They have fruit in a lot of gas stations.
They do, actually. They do. Dried fruit. You can get dried fruit as long as it's not as long as
get a candy bar.
as long as it's not sprinkled with all kinds of sugar. If you get dried fruit, that's
Gonna be here a while. Get a Snickers.
Funyuns.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
All right. Well, how about this?
Coffee.
What's your favorite worst bad food from the gas station?
Oh, so whenever when I used to get high, sometimes you would go to the gas station, right? And there was these orange cupcakes from Hostess.
Ew.
It sounds disgusting, but it was the most magical thing I've ever had.
Oh my god.
Orange cupcakes?
That hurts my stomach just thinking
It was
about it.
like I could never do that again.
Wait,
but
they're yellow or orange?
they're like yellow.
With
yeah,
the
kind of orange. Yeah, like an orange frosting.
Did it have the white?
Yeah, and it's got
stripe?
the white cream in the middle. And like,
But did it have the
it's
stripe over the
disgustingly
top?
good.
Did it have like
yeah,
the white-
yeah, it's got the little.
I love those.
Yeah.
Are they called zingers?
Yeah, well, there are zingers that are like it too. But
I love
it was
zinger.
the Hostess version.
If I
of
was
it.
going all in, I'm going in with a Cancer Coke, Funyuns, and Mike and Ike's.
Ooh, Mike and Ike's.
I'm all in. If I'm all in on that, like, we don't need to survive.
There they are,
yeah,
Justin.
They're
there
called
it is.
cupcakes?
Orange cupcakes.
Yeah, they're actually really so.
Are they? Do they taste like orange? Like
Yeah,
artificial
it's got
orange?
like a citrusy, kind of.
When I was
don't like that.
when I was 15 years old,
They're good.
I went on this mission to bulk. I'm like, I'm going to gain mass at all costs. And what I did was I went to the grocery store because I've been working since I was like 13 and a half, 14. Went to the grocery store, rode my bike there, and bought boxes of these cupcakes and zingers.
Yeah.
And I bought
Those little pies.
yes.
I knew it. The home run pies.
Home run pies.
They're super cheap.
4 for $1.
Yep. And
Come on,
I-
what kid didn't eat those?
and they have fruit. And I bought I bought a bunch
Justified.
I bought a
These are
bunch of
fruit.
whole milk. And what I would do in the morning is I'd wake up before school, I'd wake up a little early, and I'd pound 500 or 600 calories worth of these cupcakes, and then on the way to school, I would chug
God.
a half a quart of whole milk because I did the math on the
we
couch.
were so healthy.
Did it work?
I gained weight and developed a dairy intolerance. That's
That's the bonus.
Super successful.
That's exactly. You know why I know that's how I caused myself to have a dairy intolerance, Christina? Because I started out with regular milk and I did that
Okay.
until I got diarrhea.
Okay, you guys have heard of big gulps, right? 7-Eleven?
Yeah.
Yeah. I didn't know there was such a thing as double gulps, but my brother used to drink double gulps of cherry Coke.
Oh,
Do you remember that picture I took?
It was
when
like this big.
When we first started Mind Pump, I took it. There's a picture, I think, way back on my.
it was like a gallon.
Yes. I forget what they call it. It's like a super duper gulp.
Yeah, it was
it's-
along those lines.
Yeah, and I think it's like 2 liters. It's a 2 liter mug.
Oh yeah, with the handle.
Yes.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're
That's
talking about.
fucking insane.
Yeah,
that someone
my
would
brother
put
used
that
to
down,
drink
like
that.
drinking a liter of Coke.
I'm surprised he doesn't have diabetes.
That's a construction thing, dude. That's like you get early in the morning, you pick up.
Those guys eat so terribly.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's why you still see construction workers that are overweight. And you think, how can you be overweight? You're freaking swinging a hammer all day long.
Right. 'Cause you start off with donuts and then you drink, 94 ounces of soda.
powdered donuts
All day, and then
I used
for-
to eat that when I worked construction.
Yeah, and then lunch is fast food.
Yeah, or the taco truck, right?
Always, always.
The dashboard burrito. Do you guys ever do that?
No, what's that?
So you take one of those frozen
The
burritos.
team
like
gulp. Look at that, dude. 128 ounces.
It's 1 gallon.
team gulp, like the whole team, but it's just you.
Yes.
Yeah. What's the dashboard burrito? I want to hear about this.
So you take it's like a bean burrito that has cheese and beans, obviously. And what you do is you take the frozen one, you put it on your dashboard of your truck, and then you work, half the day. And by then, the sun cooks it like to a perfect temperature at lunchtime, and you eat it.
What?
Wow.
It's very
Science.
scientific. Yeah.
Fucking science.
That's insane. You know what else I used to get?
Construction workers know what I'm talking about.
You know what else I used to get at the gas station that I never really got anywhere else for whatever reason. It's special to the gas station, and it's the worst, grossest candy of all time. But I don't know, I liked it. Circus peanuts.
Oh yeah,
It's the
they're
big
kind of orange, like little light, little
Foamy?
foamy things.
yeah. It's like a big spongy piece of sugar, and it's not a peanut. There's no nut or legume.
kind
in it
of
whatsoever.
What
reminds
is it
you of
made
like
out of?
insulation a little bit.
Pull up circus peanuts, Doug, so we could show. See right there. It's like a. I don't know how to explain
Be
it.
careful how you word it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like a.
Those are disgusting.
It's like a marshmallowy
Those are
kind
disgusting.
of treat.
They look gross.
They are disgusting.
It reminds me of like packing,
like those?
packing insulation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Love circus peanuts.
I used to go for the slushies or the Slurpees.
Yeah, Slipperies are good.
They have such a weird texture to them.
That's what I love about them.
Are they soft?
They're
Yeah,
softish.
they're soft.
They're
kinda
awful.
spongy.
Yeah,
They're aw- it's like the candy.
Are they like a meringue?
It's it's a candy that your great grandmother has in her cupboard that she's had for fucking 40
Yeah.
years that nobody
That
wants.
and the
That's why
Werther's
Sal likes
original.
it.
Yeah, like
Which I like those
you
better.
break your teeth on those stupid things.
Dude, I like butterscotch discs too. That's my other favorite.
No,
candy.
I can get down with that jam, but those are awful.
My dad used to
You
eat
couldn't
those.
open a bag and throw it on the ground and hope that rats would eat it. They wouldn't even
Circus
touch it.
peanuts.
I used to crush those. Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember those candies that you would see at old people's houses, and they were in they were usually like in a
Werther's?
vase? No, they were in like a.
The hard candies.
They were hard candies, but they were all different.
C's?
No, they weren't C's. They were hard candies, and they
love
were all
C's.
different. And some of them were like multicolored.
Oh,
and
like the
some of them
strawberry wrapping one?
They didn't have no wrapping though, so that if you left them long enough, you try to lift one, the whole thing would come
Yeah.
out. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, no, I don't.
They are old school candies. If you find them, Doug, you get a bonus because
old school candies.
yeah,
What do you call those?
old
Giving
school
out
Never gonna
bonuses.
find that.
old school grandma candies. I don't know. They're good. I like old people candy.
I've never met anybody that likes these circus peanuts.
Prune suckers. Yeah.
Dude, circus candies are amazing.
These are the things, you know where you get these too? You get these at the 99-cent store.
Yeah,
That's where they sell these fucking things.
They still sell those?
Yeah, after they're 20 years old.
Oh my god.
They make it to the 99-cent store. They try and sell them for $1.99 at Safeway.
They don't go bad.
Nobody buys them. Yeah, then they get shipped to the 99-cent store
They
the next
remind me
decade.
of those. Remember those soft mints? Like what? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No,
Like,
those are good.
Those are really good.
Those are good.
That's what they kind of look like, though.
Darn.
Is it that same texture?
It is similar. It's kind of similar to that
Oh, I
texture.
can't find
But
it.
those actually taste good. They like melt in your mouth.
Yeah, no, those are good.
Those
These
are
are
Bottom line, they have like the worst shit in gas stations still.
Yeah, they do.
They're better now, depending on where you go.
well,
I
you're in
mean-
LA.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
You're in
Yeah,
LA. Gas stations are different. I'm sure.
hella
True.
bougie.
Go I-5. Yeah.
But they sell incense at the gas
Eye-opening.
station.
Insane.
Yeah.
All right, next question. Tim
Tofurkey.
Imbo, what's a part of the business you have to do on a day-to-day basis but absolutely hate doing?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
Instagram.
Really?
Yeah, I can't stand it.
Oh, that's probably a good. I was gonna say one of the things about this partnership that we created, it's been really cool to watch us all kind of naturally fall into the things that are our strengths and to hand off things that we typically don't like. I mean, if there's a part of this business that one of us does not like, you're probably not doing it. I mean, I think we've done a really good job of allowing those that are great at that or like doing that to do those positions and to not have to do the things that you don't really like to do. I would have to say with Justin, you know, there's a pressure to, and I feel it more now than ever. We definitely created a monster with being very active on Instagram and social media and answering people's questions and responding to everybody. It's gotten to the point now where it's impossible. I can't, at all times, I'm behind 50 to 100 DMs. And so if you're listening to this right now, I apologize. I'm always trying to get to all of them. So that can be a little daunting sometimes and frustrating because, you know, we preach on this show a lot about being disconnected from your phone. And if I were to execute this every single day, it would require me now to be on my phone almost 2 to 3 hours straight of just answering.
Yeah, I don't think it's necessarily the interaction or having to answer questions or, you know, I actually enjoy that quite a bit. I think it's approaching every day like a unique thing. Like it's like trying to like think of something that's clever or like entertaining or like some value or it's just another one of those things that you're like, well, they've heard everything. Like what else can I really like put out here that isn't stupid and been done to death? And I don't know. I think it's just I overthink it. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
Too much.
It's a tough question because I've never been in a position where I like everything.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even the thing I like the least is
I still like it. Exactly.
I like it
it's
way
not that I
more
hate
than
it.
anything else I've ever done. I don't mind Instagram as much as I mind when we do like funny, silly things on video. And it's not because, you know, I don't like stuff with a sense of humor. It's that when we're supposed to be silly, so like when we did the Christmas cards, you know, that was fun and stuff, but it's hard for me to do it when I know I'm supposed to do it. Like, oh, Sal, you got to be funny now. I don't know how to do it anymore.
Yeah,
you know,
it's stressful.
it has to happen naturally for me. And so that for me can be more difficult. Like if Taylor tells us, okay, guys, I want you guys to go to this gym over here. You're going to work out in a funny way. You're going to make a video about it. It would be more difficult for me. But even that's fun. You know what I mean? There's really not.
Well, I know I didn't like.
Yeah.
I hated the YouTube, so I hated YouTube doing that, and you know, fuck, we did that for 400 something videos for the first two years of doing that. We did that. I never liked doing that, and the reason why I didn't like doing it is I'm a very outgoing person. I love people. I like communicating. I don't get nervous in front of crowds. But this idea of, pretending like I'm talking to somebody who's not there, because I'm staring at a camera all by myself or with Eli or Taylor behind the camera, but I'm pretending that I'm talking to the masses, or I'm speaking to this kid who wants to build his chest, right? Or I don't like the pretending piece. I just don't do well with that. And so I really didn't like doing that. Now, I'm very competitive with myself. So like Justin's like this, Sal's like this, we're all like this, where if there's something that we don't like, it doesn't mean that we quit it, or we decide like, I'm not going to do it. I became competitive with myself. Like, okay, I'm going to master this, or I'm going to get good at it. And so I learned to like the things that I don't like by becoming competitive with becoming better at it. And so that was the approach with the YouTube channel. But I couldn't be happier to be away from it now. Now to have somebody like Danny who thrives in it, that loves doing it, which is, to me, being a great leader or a great team player is being able to be okay with that. And I don't think I could do this without the partners that I have, because we don't all have these control issues where we need to be in control of everything. All of us are okay with stepping back and allowing somebody who either excels at that or loves doing that. And that's a perfect example of something that I really hated doing for 2 years now. But I needed, it was a necessity that I did it for that long. Now that we have somebody in that position that can do that, I think does a better job than I do and loves doing it. That's a win all the way around. So I can now move myself out.
Yeah, no, I don't mind talking to the camera. It depends on the context, though. Like if I'm just talking to the camera or interviewing someone, I enjoy that. Like not as much as I enjoy podcasting. Nothing comes close to podcasting, but I enjoy it. Now, if I'm doing an exercise demo, then I can get kind of bored with the process on camera. But nothing that we do compares to sitting down and podcasting. This is what I enjoy doing the most. Absolutely. Yeah, there's hands down.
This wins.
Yeah, hands down, there's nothing that compares to having good conversation with smart people, with people I enjoy talking to. Because the truth is, if we didn't record this, I'd still have this conversation. I'd still want to do this. So this by far is one of my favorite things. The other favorite thing I enjoy doing is I really enjoy the creative aspect of what we do. When we are coming up with new ideas and new angles of how to communicate certain things and new ways of working with our partners and sponsors, or new programs that we're creating, or different angles that examining the market and seeing where it's going and how we're gonna work with it. That kind of stuff gets me really excited because it's challenging and it's fun at the same time, and so I feel like it can never get boring.
Yeah, no, we've done a good job again of, like I said, I mean, there's a lot of things that Justin does that I fucking hate. There's a lot of things that Sal does I fucking hate. There's a lot of things that Doug does I hate, but I don't do them. That's really what's made this really magical is, when Justin sits down and has to write cues and oversee the projects of us redoing all the programs and managing that whole process, like I'm like, ugh, I don't want nothing to do with that. When Sal sits down and writes a fucking 5,000 word document, are you kidding me? That would take me 2 weeks to do what he does in 3 hours. Yeah. The shit that Doug has to do is sit down and to edit and be constantly working with the bookkeepers and that shit I hate all that stuff. So
you keep in contact with everybody we've come across and all that. Like that's totally not one of my strengths. So.
Yeah, everyone's really naturally fell into the things that they enjoy, that they do, or that they do really well. And it has allowed us to continue. It's what makes this thing really exciting, even after 4 years, and to see where it's going to go from here is because we've done a really good job of, we're all okay with doing something that we don't want to do. You do the things you have to do now so you can do the things you want to do later. So all of us have done anything that's being done in this business right now. All of us, or at least one of us, has done that for the business at one point to understand it and to manage it and lead it. But we're all okay with delegating it out and being done with it and moving on to another part of the business.
Yeah, what a great situation to be in, because it sucks to have to do things that you really dislike as part of your day-to-day job. It's a reality, however. So I think that the best approach to that, because maybe give a little advice. I don't think everybody has the same kind of, they don't have the same opportunity maybe, or the same situation where they can do that, and they have partners like we do. I think a good word of advice I can give on this is find something that you like about the thing that you hate doing and focus on that part of it. Otherwise, it's going to be a nightmare.
Drudgery.
And what'll end up happening is just avoid it. Like if you hate bookkeeping, you'll be one of those business owners that never takes care of that stuff and has no idea where money's going and coming from.
And that's a massive problem.
Yeah, so find something that you like about what you hate doing and do it, or hire somebody to do it, because it won't get done otherwise, in my experience at least. And with that, go to mindpumpfree.com and check out some of our free guides. We have a guide on there that will teach you how to get your squat to increase in weight. So if you're a pretty good squatter, but you want to get it higher and you want to build more strength, check out the squat guide. But we have a lot of other guides on there as well. Again, they're all found at mindpumpfree.com.
Thank you for listening to Mind Pump. If your goal is to build and shape your body, dramatically improve your health and energy, and maximize your overall performance, check out our discounted RGB Super Bundle at mindpumpmedia.com. The RGB Super Bundle includes MAPS Anabolic, MAPS Performance, and MAPS Aesthetic. 9 months of phased expert exercise programming designed by Sal, Adam, and Justin to systematically transform the way your body looks, feels, and performs. With detailed workout blueprints and over 200 videos, the RGB Super Bundle is like having Sal, Adam, and Justin as your own personal trainers, but at a fraction of the price. The RGB Super Bundle has a full 30-day money-back guarantee, and you can get it now plus other valuable free resources at mindpumpmedia.com. If you enjoy this show, please share the love by leaving us a 5-star rating and review on iTunes and by introducing Mind Pump to your friends and family. We thank you for your support, and until next time, this is Mind Pump.